I have to say, as far as the vampire scene goes, a lot of people ask me a lot about the Hidden Shadows parties, how they were. I know a lot of the new people coming in, a lot of the younger vampires and such, hear about the Hidden Shadows parties, the Realm of Darkness, as it was called, the building itself called the Realm of Darkness when we had the Hidden Shadows parties there and all the vampire functions that went on there. That building was owned by a man named Grandmaster Ernest Hyman, who's a legend in the martial art world. Grandmaster Ernest Hyman passed away this week, and rather that man knew it or not, and rather a lot of the young people in the vampire scene knew it or not, he was a pillar in this scene. And I say that for a lot of reasons. One of the main reasons being that building where we had the Hidden Shadows parties, for all those years those parties been going on, that building was there 25 to 30 years before we even started partying there. That man that owned that building is responsible for a lot of good having to do with the goth scene. Not just the building itself, but for the amazing people that called that man their father. And if those people wasn't there, Hidden Shadows definitely wouldn't be where it is today. And if that man wasn't there, that building wouldn't have been there, or if it was, the parties wouldn't have been what they were. Those parties are legendary, and they were worldwide. Literally, people in other countries who don't speak English talking about Hidden Shadows parties in New York City in America. Grandmaster Ernest Hyman was one of the, again, famous names known in the martial art world and the martial art community. His passing hit people like a really hard blow, me being one of them. Almost took me out of work, knocked me off my feet when I found that out. His funeral brought out people who I didn't even know knew him, let alone people way older than me in the martial art world that knew me since I was between 12, 14 years old. That alone, seeing certain people there alone, was a reminder of how great that man was. You know him one way, certain people know him another. You get friendly with somebody to a point where you forget just who that somebody is outside of your own bubble. Going there struck a nerve with me, and the news has been on my mind ever since it happened, and I couldn't shake it. So I made it my point just to be able to say something before I post my next video. So here I am saying this. Hidden Shadows, I'm not going anywhere. I love you guys to death. And thanks to y'all, I met that man, and that man is a great man. Until Dr. Ernest Hyman, just thank you for being one of the great people I'm going to meet in my life. Us. If you don't know what that flag means, you should know it after this. So, been having a lot of conversations lately, having to do with BDSM, mainly about the different kinds of DOMs and subs that's out there, the difference between them, how many different names there are for them, etc. Which is why I'm making this video. This is going to be geared more towards the DDLG part of the BDSM lifestyle. Well, this is more for the littles in the DDLG. Submissives, like any other title, has like subcategories. Under the title of sub or submissive, you have bottoms, baby girl or baby boy, because littles do come in male form too. Princess, doll, brat, kitten, puppy, pets for those into pet play. That's just to name a few off the top of my head. Then there's also, I guess I call them uni titles or unisex titles or universal titles that could be for anybody labeled top or bottom or male or female. I guess like Kajiris, sadist, masochist, sadomasochist, etc., etc. But back to LILS, an adult, meaning of the legal age of consent in whatever city or state you live in, that has obvious childlike tendencies or actions or habits, be it the way they normally are or naturally are, like that's just the way they are in general, or be it people who just role play. Not really talking about role playing right now though, because role playing is exactly what the word sounds like. That's like playing that role, acting that way for the moment, for whatever the moment actually is. It could be a session, it could be just for play, just for fun, but it's just for that moment. But yes, there are people out there who actually feel a lot better about themselves and about life around them when they're in their little state of mind and being treated that way. This could be for numerous different reasons. And to feel complete or fulfilled, these people tend to seek out some sort of caregiver, some person that's going to take care of them when they're in their little kid mindset or want to be. So enter daddy doms. The daddy dom is the, obviously, dom in this kind of relationship. The same way the little is the sub or slave in this kind of relationship. Like I said earlier, some titles have like subcategories for that title. So in the case of masters, doms, mistresses in the DDLG relationship, this would make that dom the daddy or the mistress, the mommy, and it's usually just what a little calls their caregiver instinctively. But more importantly, it's usually a title earned by how well they treat that little and how good they are to that little, which is going to bring me to recognizable traits and things to keep littles happy. Recognizable traits meaning things that you might see, people might see on a sub, with a sub, or actions they might see from a sub that lets everybody know that sub is a little, or actions people might notice on their own about themselves, which tells them that they themselves are a little. Depending on the little's headspace or their age regression, we'll call it, some might want things that others don't. Some might be into things that some aren't. Personally, I like to have or keep things that cater to that little's age regression or headspace. Things like pacifiers, because depending on that little's headspace or age regression, the binky, the bobo, keeps them feeling comfortable, keeps them feeling happy in their little space. Same way it would an infant. Stuffed animals. A stuffy not only makes them feel secure, but it makes the little feel more comfortable around that caregiver, that daddy, that mommy, that caters to not just it per se, but caters to the fact that they like this and they need these. Blankets. Some littles actually have a blanket and like having their own special little blanket like a child would. Not so much to sleep under, but to cuddle with. Kind of like a stuffy or stuffed animal. Most likely for a sense of security. Collars. Most littles like collars like any other sub. Now, I've been in the BDSM lifestyle since the late 90s. And most of my subs in the beginning, they got a plain, bland old black collar. In the beginning while they're under consideration, that is. But even during the under consideration stage, I kind of like to give littles a collar that is not so typically bland, not so normal like any other sub would have. Now, I'm goth. I live the goth lifestyle. Even when I'm trying not to look like it, I always seem to. Even if I'm wearing blue jeans and Timbs and a hoodie. But if I have a little and my little isn't goth, I have no problem with them wearing colors. I might choose the collar, but having a collar that's not regular black or a collar that is of a color that they like, one of their favorite colors, makes them comfortable and it makes them feel good because it makes them stand out. Especially if you're the type of mommy or a mistress or dom or master that has multiple subs. People could probably see a subs and know that that sub is a little right away. And if that sub is a little, they like the fact that they are not just a typical sub. Brightly colored S&M toys or BDSM equipment, colors probably of their favorite colors as well. Just because a sub is not goth and doesn't look goth does not mean they don't like BDSM, and vice versa. So some might like colored restraints, colored wrist and ankle cuffs, colored rope, colored harnesses, pink, blue, purple, red, animal tails if they're pets. These are the things that keep a little feeling comfortable and feeling good, especially if they think they look good, and especially if the caretaker thinks they look good. This can also go for adult toys, adult sex toys. All my neighbors are losing their mind hearing this conversation coming out my damn house. Also, toys and paraphernalia that might pertain to them being a little. Shirts and clothing that might say daddy's little girl, mommy's little boy, or some sort of pun or really tricky phrase that represents being a little. It feels good to them if the caretaker's okay with them dressing like that, if they want to dress like that, and to know that whatever the phrase is or whatever it is that pertains to them, if it is a word or a phrase, that their mommy or daddy actually feels that way about them or sees them that way. It also, it makes them feel good because it lets them know they stand out. Candy, edibles, snacks. Having their favorite candies and their favorite snacks is always exciting, but using them for things like rewards or actually just for fun always makes them feel good because it's also a reminder that you know what they like. Personally, I love the whole giddy, giggly, happy, face lighting up feeling when you surprise them with their favorite candy and such. A lot of the stuff I just named is pretty universal, but yes, there are, like I said earlier, not everybody's going to be into the same exact things. Some are going to be 100% into everything I just said. Some are only going to be into some of it. But I don't know any little that doesn't like the majority of the stuff that I just named, which is why I say caretakers should have these things on hand or be more than okay with going out to get them. Remember, the point is you want to cater to their inner child. And the inner child, you want to cater to that inner child according to the age progression that inner child is, according to the age in that little's head that they are or they feel they are. And with what I just said, that also applies to role playing. You don't want to role play with somebody who's playing the little role and you don't know what they want or don't care or not into whatever it is they're into, because then it kind of just, the role playing just kind of goes nowhere. Now let's throw out there activities you could do with your little. Dinner, movie dates. Good for showing them that you're more than okay with them being a little or letting their little side show. Coloring books, coloring with them in their coloring books. I probably should have said this in the list earlier, the whole traits of a little thing. But yes, not only is this also good for bonding, for two people just bonding, but again, shows them that you have no problem with them being that way and that you're not looking at them like they're crazy. Reading them bedtime stories, especially if the mommy or the daddy has a set bedtime for them, rather than live with them or not. Bedtime stories keeps the inner little going, keeps the inner little happy. Watching their favorite cartoons or movies with them, especially if they're like kiddie movies or kiddie cartoons for all those Disney princesses that like Disney movies. Doing their hair, or if you're me, pretending to do their hair. Play with their toys with them. The dolls, the stuffies. If the little's the type of person to have dolls, letting them play dress up, letting them try stuff on and modeling it for you, so to speak. Let them try on different outfits, give your opinion on them. Play fighting, playing tag, playing hide and go seek, if you're in an area where you could do so. Or any of these little childlike games that all of us used to play when we were kids. Playing video games with them, especially if it's a little kid or a kiddie video game. If the little lives with the caretaker, decorating a room and decorating a room with them. If the little doesn't live with the caretaker and they like certain areas of the house, or they always in a certain area of the house, decorate the area of the house in a way that caters to the little. Cooking and baking with them. Or sometimes in my case, pretending to do so. Bathe them, sit and play with them in the bathtub while they're taking a bath. Play with their toys with them in the bathtub. This is it's a really fun thing to do, actually. You never know what can come out of it, how much fun could come out of it. Boy, my neighbors are not going to be having fun with the words coming out of my mouth. Shop for little things online. Toys and such, like, Toys R Us, Kids R Us. order things online, have the little sit there, y'all order things online together, or go out to the actual store and buy stuff. To go out to the store and buy stuff is better, but just the shopping in general for little things and watching their face light up with while y'all looking at things, it's an easy way to find out what it is they like and don't like. A lot of fun. Now I'm gonna say this too, with everything in life, there's evolution. I say this because I swear back like 5-10 years ago, there was just little. A little was a little, and that was it. And now, like, even in the goth scene, there were people who wanted to be different or wanted to say that they can't be categorized because they don't fit in no category. So if not other people around them, then them themselves will make up a category that they would fit into just to be different. And that seemed to have gone around because within the last few years, most recent few years, I've been hearing new things now, and it's to the point where a lot of these things are online and you can actually find definitions for these things that didn't exist 10 years ago. Other titles. Now we know what a little is at this point, but a little could be, say, I'm gonna throw out, I don't know, from 4-5 years up to 8-9 years old, age regression. But now I'm meeting a lot of middles. So a middle is about 8-9 years old to maybe say 15, a little more independent and sassy with their actions and not really into the little things like the sippy cups, the pacifiers, or the dolls, or a lot of stuff I named earlier, but might still love like cartoons and playing games and stuff like that. Might still like cuddling with the caretaker. Might still like stuffed animals. Might still love stuffed animals. Still little enough for all that stuff, but middle enough to have a smart mouth and need stricter rules, need harsher punishments or more punishments, need a lot more structure. But a middle might also be more capable and or want to take care of the caretaker even more and probably could do it better than a little can, depending on what that caretaker needs and how their relationship is. Another group of people I've been meeting lately is bigs. Bigs. I'll do a video about bigs later because this conversation, this video was supposed to be more about littles. Now just for the hell of it, I'm gonna have acronyms on the screen so you can see what certain letters mean thrown together. And I'm gonna also end this video. I'm gonna thank you guys for watching. I don't know if I said this earlier, but I want to say I apologize for not doing a video anytime recently. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on in my real world right now, in my real life right now. A lot of crazy stuff, meaning not good things. And I'm squeezing this video in between things that I need to do. And yeah, so there's that. Got any questions, comments, anything you want to say? You could leave. Well, I guess I'll do that. My social media, leave me a message there. And I'm gonna sign off. I'm signing off without a sign off because I still ain't got a sign off yet. So see you soon. See you next video.